I learn in this letter that Don Pedro of Aragon comes this night to Messina.
He is very near by this. He was not 3 leagues off when I left him.
How many gentlemen have you lost in this battle?
But few of any sort, and none of name.
A victory is twice itself when the achiever brings home full numbers.
I find here that Don Pedro hath bestowed much honour on a young Florentine called Claudio.
Much deserved on his part, and equally remembered by Don Pedro. He hath borne himself beyond the promise of his age, doing in the figure of a lamb the feats of a lion. He hath indeed bettered expectation than you must expect of me to tell you how.
He hath an uncle here in Messina, will be very much glad of it.
I have already delivered him letters, and there appears much joy in him, even so much that joy could not show itself modest enough without a badge of bitterness.
Did he break out into tears?
In great measure.
A kind overflow of kindness. There are no faces truer than those that are so washed.
How much better it is to weep at joy than to joy at weeping.
I pray you, is Signor Montanto returned from the wars, or not?
I know none of that name, lady. There was none such in the army of any sort.
What is he that you ask for, niece?
My cousin means Signor Benedick of Padua.
Oh, he's returned, and as pleasant as ever he was.
I pray you, how many hath he killed and eaten in these wars? But how many hath he killed? For indeed I promise to eat all of his killing.
Faith, niece, you tax Signor Benedick too much.
But he'll be meet with you, I doubt it not.
He hath done good service, lady, in these wars.
You had musty victual, he hath hopped to eat it. He's a very valiant trencher man. He hath an excellent stomach.
And a good soldier too, lady.
And a good soldier to a lady. But what is he to a lord?
A lord to a lord, a man to a man, stuffed with all honourable virtues.
It is so indeed. He is no less than a stuffed man. But for the stuffing, well, we are all mortal.
You must not, sir, mistake my niece. There is a kind of merry war betwixt Signor Benedick and her.
They never meet, but there's a skirmish of wit between them.
Alas, he gets nothing by that. In our last conflict, 4 of his 5 wits went halting off, and now is the whole man governed with 1. So that if he hath wit enough to keep himself warm, let him bear it for a difference between himself and his horse, for it is all the wealth he hath left to be known a reasonable creature. Who is his companion now? He hath every month a new sworn brother.
Is't possible?
Very easily possible. He wears his faith but as the fashion of his hat. It ever changes with the next block.
I see, lady, the gentleman is not in your books.
No, if he were, I would burn my study. But I pray you, who is his companion? Is there no young squarer now that will make voyage with him to the devil?
He is most in the company of the right noble Claudio.
Ah, right noble Claudio.
Oh, Lord! Benedict will hang upon him like a disease. He is sooner caught than the pestilence, and the taker runs presently mad. God help the noble Claudio. If he hath caught the Benedict, it will cost him £1,000 ere he be cured.
I will hold friends with you, lady.
Do, good friend.
Will you never run mad with anyone, niece?
No, not till a hot January.
Ah, Don Pedro is approached.
Signora Leonata, you are come to meet your trouble. The fashion of the world is to avoid cost, and you encounter it.
Never came trouble to my house in the likeness of your grace.
For trouble being gone, comfort should remain. But when you depart from us, sorrow abides, and happiness takes its leave.
You embrace your charge too willingly. I think this is your daughter.
Her father many times assured me so.
Were you in doubt, lady, that you asked?
Signor Benedick, no. For then were you a child.
You have it full, Benedick. We may guess by this what you are, being a man. Truly the lady is honourably begotten.
If Signora Leonata be her mother, she would not have her head on her shoulders, for all Messina, as like her as she is.
I wonder that you will still be talking, Signor Benedick. Nobody marks you.
What, my dear Lady Disdain, are you yet living?
Is it possible Disdain should die while she hath such meet food to feed it as Signor Benedick? Courtesy itself must turn to disdain if you come in her presence.
Then is courtesy a turncoat? But it is certain I am loved of all ladies, only you excepted, and I would I could find it in my heart that I had not a hard heart, for truly I love none.
A dear happiness to women. They would else have been troubled with a pernicious suitor. I thank God and my cold blood I am of your humor for that. I had rather hear my dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loves me.
God keep your ladyship still in that mind, so some gentleman or other shall escape a predestinate scratched face.
Scratching could not make it worse, if it were such a face as yours were.
Well, you are a rare parrot, teacher.
A bird of my tongue is better than a beast of yours.
I would my horse had the speed of your tongue, and so good a continuer. But keep your way, in God's name I have done.
You always end with a jade's trick. I know you of old.
That is the sum of all, Leonata. Signor Claudio and Signor Benedick, my dear friend Leonata hath invited you all. I tell her we shall stay here at least a month, and she heartily prays some occasion may detain us longer. I dare say she is no hypocrite, but prays from her heart.
If you swear, my lord, you shall not be forsworn. Let me bid you welcome, my lord. Being reconciled to the prince, your brother, I owe you all duty.
I thank you. I am not of many words, but I thank you.
Please it your grace lead on.
Your hand, Leonata. We will go together.
Benedick, didst thou note the daughter of Signora Leonata?
Would you buy her, that you inquire after her?
Can the world buy such a jewel?
Yea, and a case to put it into. Come, in what key shall a man take you, to go with you in the song?
In mine eye, she is the sweetest lady that ever I looked on.
I can see yet without spectacles, and I see no such matter. There's her cousin, if she were not possessed with a fury, exceeds her as much in beauty as the 1st of May doth the last of December. But I hope you have no intent to turn husband, have you?
I would scarce trust myself, though I had sworn the contrary, if Hero would be my wife.
Is't come to this? In faith, hath not one man that will wear his cap with suspicion? Shall I never see a bachelor of 80 again? Go to, in faith. Look, Don Pedro is returned to seek you.
What secret hath held you here that you followed not to Leonata's?
I would your grace could constrain me to tell.
I charge thee on thy allegiance.
You hear, Count Claudio, I can be as secret as a mute man. I would have you think so. But on my allegiance, mark you this, on my allegiance, he is in love. With who? Now that is your grace's part. Mark how short his answer is. With Hero, Leonata's short daughter.
If this were so, so were it uttered.
Amen. If you love her, for the lady is very well worthy.
You speak this to fetch me in, my lord.
By my troth I speak my thought.
And in faith, my lord, I spoke mine.
And by my 2 faiths and troths, my lord, I spoke mine.
That I love her, I feel.
That she is worthy, I know.
That I neither feel how she should be loved, nor know how she should be worthy, is the opinion that fire cannot melt out of me.
Thou wast ever an obstinate heretic in the despite of beauty.
And never could maintain his part but in the force of his will.
What I simply ask of women is this, that all women shall pardon me, because I will not do them the wrong to mistrust any. I will do myself the right to trust none. And the fine is, for the which I may go the finer, I will live a bachelor.
I shall see thee, ere I die, look pale with love.
With anger, with sickness, or with hunger, my lord, not with love.
Well, if ever thou dost fall from this faith, thou wilt prove a notable argument.
If I do, hang me in a bottle like a cat and shoot at me.
Well, as time shall try. In time, the savage bull doth bear the yoke.
The savage bull may, but if ever the sensible Benedick bear it, pluck off the bull's horns and set them in my forehead.
If this should ever happen, thou wouldst be horn mad.
Will you temporize with the hours? In the meantime, good Signor Benedick, repair to Leonata's, commend me to her and tell her I will not fail her at supper, for indeed she hath made great preparation.
I have almost matter enough in me for such an embassage, and so I commit you
To the tuition of God, from my house if I had it.
The 6th of July, your loving friend, Benedick.
Nay, mock not, mock not. Ere you flout old ends any further, examine your conscience, and so I leave you.
My liege, your highness now may do me good. Hath Leonata any son, my lord?
No child but Hero. She's the only heir. Dost thou affect her, Claudio?
Oh, my lord, when you went onward on this ended action, I looked upon her with a soldier's eye that liked, but had a rougher task in hand than to drive liking to the name of love. But now I am returned, and that war thoughts have left their places vacant. In their rooms come thronging soft and delicate desires, all prompting me how fair young Hero is, saying I liked her before I went to wars.
Thou wilt be like a lover presently, and tire the hero with a book of words if thou dost love fair Hero. Cherish it, and I will break with her and with her mother, and thou shalt have her. Was't not to this end that thou beganst to twist so fine a story?
How sweetly you do minister to love, that no loves grief by his complexion. But lest my liking might too sudden seem, I would have salved it with a longer treatise.
What need the bridge much broader than the flood? The fairest grant is the necessity. Look, what will service fit? 'Tis once thou lovest, and I will fit thee with the remedy. I know we shall have revelling tonight. I will assume thy part in some disguise, and tell fair Hero I am Claudio, and in her bosom I'll unclasp my heart, and take her hearing prisoner with the force and strong encounter of my amorous tale. Then after, to her mother will I break, and the conclusion is, she shall be thine. In practice, let us put it presently.
How now, sister? Your daughter must be studying in earnest to provide this excellent music.
She's very busy about it. But sister, I can tell you strange news that you yet dreamt not of.
Are they good?
As the event stamps them, but they have a good cover, they show well outward. The Prince and Count Claudio, walking in a thick-leaved alley in my orchard, were just much overheard by a man of mine. The prince did confess to Claudio that he loved my niece, your daughter, and meant to acknowledge it this night in a dance. And if he found her accordant, he meant to take the present time by the top and instantly break with you of it.
Hath the fellow any wit that told you this?
A good sharp fellow. I'll wake him, and you can question him yourself.
No. We will hold it as a dream till it appear itself. But I will acquaint my daughter withal, that she may be the better prepared for an answer, if peradventure be true. Let us go and tell her of it.
What the good year, my lord? Why are you thus out of measure sad?
There is no measure in the occasion that breeds, therefore the sadness is without limit.
You should hear reason.
And when I have heard it, what blessing brings it?
If not a present remedy, at least a patient sufferance.
I wonder that thou, being, as thou sayest thou art, born under Saturn, goest about to apply a moral medicine to a mortifying mischief. I cannot hide what I am. I must be sad when I have cause, and smile at no man's jests. And when I have stomach, and wait for no man's leisure, sleep when I am drowsy, and tend on no man's business, laugh when I am merry, and claw no man in his humour.
Yea, but you must not make the full show of this, till you may do it without controlment. You have of late stood out against your brother, and he hath taken you newly into his grace, where it is impossible you should take root, but by the fair weather that you make yourself. It is needful that you frame the season for your own harvest.
I had rather be a canker in a hedge than a rose in his grace. In this, though, I cannot be said to be a flattering honest man. I must not be denied, but I am a plain-dealing villain. I am trusted with a muzzle and enfranchised with a clog. Therefore, I have decreed not to sing in my cage. If I had my mouth, I would bite. If I had my liberty, I would do my liking. In the meantime, let me be as I am, and seek not to alter me.
Can you make no use of your discontent?
I make all use of it, for I use it only. Who comes here? What news, Borachio?
I came yonder from a great supper. The prince, your brother, is royally entertained by Leonata, and I can give you intelligence of an intended marriage.
What is he for a fool that betroths himself to unquietness?
Marry, it is your brother's right hand.
Who? The most exquisite Claudio?
Even he.
A proper squire. And who? And who? Which way looks he?
Marry, on Hero, the daughter and heir of Leonata.
A very forward march, chick. How came to you this?
Being entertained for a perfumer, as I was smoking the musty room, comes me the prince and Claudio, hand in hand in sad conference. I whipped me behind the arras, and there heard it agreed upon that the prince should woo Hero for himself, and having obtained her, give her to Count Claudio.
Come, come, let us thither. This may prove food to my displeasure. That young startup hath all the glory of my overthrow. If I can cross him any way, I bless myself every way. You are both sure, and will assist me?
To the death, my lord.
Let us to the great supper. Their cheer is the greater that I am subdued. Would the cook be of my mind? Shall we go prove what's to be done?
Was not Count John here at supper?
I saw him not.
How tartly that gentleman looks. I can never see him, but I am heartburned an hour after.
He is of a very melancholy disposition.
He were an excellent man that were made just in the midway between him and Benedick. The one is too like an image and says nothing. The other too like my lady's eldest son, evermore tattling.
Then half Signor Benedick's tongue in Count John's mouth, and half Count John's melancholy in Signor Benedick's face.
With a good leg and a good foot, and money enough in his purse, such a man would win any woman in the world, if he could get her goodwill.
By my troth, niece, thou wilt never get thee a husband if thou be so shrewd of thy tongue.
In faith, she's too cursed.
Too cursed is more than cursed. I shall lessen God's sending that way. For it is said, God sends a cursed cow short horns, but a cow too cursed, he sends none.
So by being too cursed, God will send you no horns.
Just if he send me no husband. For the which blessing I am at him upon my knees every morning and evening. Lord, I could not endure a husband with a beard on his face. I had rather lie in the raw wool.
You may light on a husband that hath no beard.
What should I do with him? Dress him in my apparel and make him my waiting gentlewoman? He that hath a beard is more than a youth, and he that hath no beard is less than a man. And he that is more than a youth is not for me, and he that is less than a man, I am not for him. Therefore, I will even take sixpence in earnest for the bear ward, and lead his apes into hell.
Well then, go you into hell?
No, but to the gate. And there will the devil meet me like an old cuckold, with horns on his head, and say, Get you to heaven, Beatrice. Get you to heaven. Here's no place for you maids. So deliver I up my apes, and away to St. Peter for the heavens. He shows me where the bachelors sit, and there we live as merry as the day is long.
Well, niece, I trust you will be ruled by your mother.
Yes, in faith, it is my cousin's duty to curtsy and say, Mother, as it please you. But yet, for all that, cousin, let him be a handsome fellow, Or else make another curtsy and say, Mother, as it please me.
Well, niece, I hope to see you one day fitted with a husband.
Not till God make men of some other metal than earth. Would it not grieve a woman to be overmastered by a piece of valiant dust? To make an account of her life to a clod of wayward marl? No, auntie, I'll none. Adam's sons are my brethren, and truly I hold it a sin to match with my kindred.
Daughter, remember what I told you.
If the prince do solicit me in that kind, I know my answer.
The fault will be in the music, cousin, if you be not wooed in good time. If the prince be too important, tell him that there is measure in everything, and so dance at the other. For hear me, hero. Wooing, wedding, and repenting is as a Scotch jig, a measure, and a cinque-pace. The first suit is hot and hasty, like a Scotch jig, and as full as fantastical. The wedding, mannerly modest as the measure, full of state and ancientry. And then comes repentance, and with his bad legs falls into the cinque-pace faster and faster till he sink into his grave.
Niece, you apprehend passing shrewdly.
I have a good eye, auntie. I can see a church by daylight.
The revelers are entering, sisters. Don your masks and make good room.
Lady, will you walk about with your friends?
So you walk softly and look sweetly and say nothing. I am yours for the walk, and especially when I walk away.
Away with me in your company?
I may say so when I please.
And when please you to say so?
When I like your favor. For God defend the lute should be like the case.
My visor is Philemon's roof. Within the house is Joe.
Why, then your visor should be thatched.
Speak low if you speak of love.
Well, I would you did like me.
So would not I, but for your own sake, for I have many ill qualities.
Which is one?
I say my prayers aloud.
I love you the better. The hearers may cry, Amen.
God match me with a good dancer,
Amen.
and keep him out of my sight when the dance is done. Answer, clerk.
No more words. The clerk is answered.
I know you well enough. You are Signora Antonia.
At a word, I am not.
I know you by the webbing of your head.
To tell the truth, I counterfeit her.
You could never do her so ill well, unless you were the very woman. Here's the dry hand up and down. You are she. You are she.
At a word, I'm not.
Come, come. Do you think I do not know you by your excellent wit? Can virtue hide itself? Go to, mum. You are she. Graces will appear, and there's an end.
Will you not tell me who told you so?
No, you shall pardon me.
Nor will you tell me who you are?
Not now.
That I was disdainful, and I had my good wit out of a terrible children's book? Well, this was Signor Benedick that said so.
What's he?
I'm sure you know him well enough.
Not I, believe me.
Did he never make you laugh?
I pray you, what is he?
Why, he is the prince's jester. A very dull fool. His only gift is in devising impossible slanders. None but libertines delight in him. And the combination is not in his wit, but in his villainy. For he both pleases men and angers them. And then they laugh at him, and then they beat him. I'm sure he is in the fleet. I would he had boarded me.
When I know the gentleman, I'll tell him what you say.
Do. I've got great comparison or two on me, which, peradventure, being not marked at, nor laughed at, strikes him into a melancholy. And then there's a partridge wing save, for the fool will eat no supper that night if he sulks. We must follow the leaders.
Another good thing.
Nay, if they lead to any ill, I will leave them at the next turning.
Sure, my brother is amorous on Hero, and hath withdrawn her mother to break with her about it. The ladies follow her, but one visor remains.
And that is Claudio. I know him by his bearing.
Are you not Signor Benedick?
You know me well. I am he.
Signor, you are very near my brother in his love. He is enamored on her. I pray you, dissuade him from her. She is no equal for his birth. You may do the part of an honest man in it.
How know you he loves her?
I heard him swear his affection.
So did I too. He swore he would marry her tonight.
Come, let us to the banquet.
Thus answer I in the name of Benedick, but hear these ill news in the ears of Claudio. 'Tis certain so. The prince woos for himself. Friendship is constant in all other things, save in the office and affairs of love. Therefore, all hearts in love use their own tongues. Let every eye negotiate for itself, and trust no agent, for beauty is a witch against whose charms faith melteth into blood. This is an accident of hourly proof which I mistrusted not. Farewell, therefore, hero.
Count Claudio,
Yea, the same.
will you go with me?
Whither?
Even to the next willow, about your own business, County. What fashion will you wear the garland of? About your neck, like a usurer's chain, or under your arm, like a lieutenant's scarf? You must wear it one way, for the prince hath got your hero.
I wish him joy of her.
Why, that's spoken like an honest drover. So they sell bullocks. But did you think the prince would have served you thus?
I pray you leave me.
Oh, now you strike like the blind man. 'Tis like a boy hath stolen your meat, and you'll beat the post.
If it will not be, I'll leave you.
Alas, poor hurt fowl, now will he creep into hedges. But that my lady Beatrice should know me, and not know me, the prince's fool. Ha! It may be I go under that title because I am married. Yea, but I am not so reputed. It is the base, though bitter, disposition of Beatrice that puts the world into her person, and so gives me out.
Now, Signor, where's the Count? Did you see him?
Troth, my lord, I have played the part of Lady Fame. I found him here as melancholy as a lodge in a warren. I told him, and I think I told him true, that your grace had got the goodwill of this young lady, and I offered him my company to a willow tree, either to make him a garland, as being forsaken, or to bind him up a rod, as worthy to be whipped.
To be whipped? What's his fault?
Flat transgression of a schoolboy who, being overjoyed with finding a bird's nest, shows it his companion, who then goes and steals it.
Wilt thou make a trust a transgression? The transgression is in the stealer.
Yet it had not been amiss, the rod had been made, and the garland too. For the garland he might have worn himself, and the rod he might have bestowed upon the prince, who, as I take it, has stolen his bird's nest.
I will but teach them to sing, and restore them to the owner.
If their singing answer your saying, by my faith, you say honestly.
The Lady Beatrice hath a quarrel to you. The gentleman that danced with her told her she is much wronged by
She
you.
told me, not thinking I had been myself, that I was the prince's jester, that I was duller than a great thaw, huddling jest upon jest with such impossible conveyance upon me, that I stood like a man at a mark, with a whole army shooting at me. She speaks swords, and every word stabs. I would not marry her.
Look, here she comes.
Will your grace command me any service to the world's end? I will go on the slightest errand now. You have no employment for me.
None but to desire your good company.
Oh God, sir, here's a dish I love not. I cannot endure my lady tongue.
Come, lady, come. You have lost the heart of Signor Benedick.
Indeed, my lord. He lent it me a while, and I gave him use for it. A double heart for his single one, Mary. Once before he won it off me with false dice. Therefore your grace may well say I have lost it.
You have put him down, lady. You have put him down.
So I would not he should do me, lest I should prove the mother of fools. I have brought the Count Claudio, whom you sent me to seek.
Why? How now, Count? Wherefore are you sad?
Not sad, my lord.
How then? Sick?
Neither, my lord.
The Count is neither sad nor sick, nor merry nor well, but civil Count. Still with an orange, and something of that jealous complexion.
Faith, lady, I think your blazon to be true, though I'll be sworn, if he be so, his conceit is false. Here, Claudio, I have wooed in thy name, and fair hero is won. I have her goodwill attained. Name the day of marriage, and God give thee joy.
Count, I take thee, and with thee join my fortunes. His grace had made the match, and all grace say amen to it.
Speak, Count. 'Tis your cue.
Silence is the perfectest herald of joy. I were but little happy if I could say how much. Lady, as you are mine, I am yours. I give away myself for you, and dote upon the exchange.
Good Lord for alliance! And thus goes everyone in the world but I, and I am sunburnt. And they cry, hey ho for a husband.
Lady Beatrice, I will get you one.
I would rather have one of your father's getting. Hath your grace ne'er a brother like you? Your father got excellent husbands, if a maid could come by them.
Will you have me, lady?
No, my lord, unless I might have another for working days. Your grace is too costly to wear every day. But I beseech your grace, pardon me. I was born to speak all mirth and no matter.
Your silence most offends me, and to be merry best becomes you, for out of question, you were born in the merry hour.
No, sure, my lord. My mother cried. But then there was a star dance, and under that was I born. Cousins, God give you joy!
Niece, will you look to those things I told you of?
I cry you mercy, auntie. By your grace's pardon.
By my troth, a pleasant, spirited lady.
There's little of the melancholy element in her, my lord. She is never sad, but when she sleeps and cannot speak.
And not ever sad then, for she hath often dreamed of unhappiness, and waked herself with laughing.
She cannot endure to hear tell of a husband.
Oh, by no means. She mocks all her wooers out of suit.
She were an excellent wife for Benedick.
Oh, Lord, my Lord, if they were but a week married, they would talk themselves mad.
When mean you to go to church?
Tomorrow, my lord. Time goes on crutches till love have all his rights.
Not till Monday, my dear son, which is hence a just 3 night, and a time too brief, too, to have all things answer in my mind.
You hang your head so long of breathing, but I warrant thee, Claudio, the time shall not go dully by us. I will in the interim undertake one of Hercules' labours, which is to bring Signor Benedick and the Lady Beatrice into a mountain of affection, the one with the other. I would fain have it a match, and I doubt not but to fashion it.
My lord, I am for you, though it costs me 10 nights' watchings.
And I, my lord.
And you too, gentle hero?
I will do any modest office, my lord, to help my cousin to a good husband.
And Benedick is not the unhopefullest husband that I know. Thus far can I praise him. He is of noble strain, of approved valour and confirmed honesty. I will teach you how to humour your cousin, that she shall fall in love with Benedick, and I, with your 2 helps, will so practice on Benedick that in despite of his quick wit and his queasy stomach, he shall fall in love with Beatrice. If we can do this, Cupid is no longer an archer. His glory shall be ours, for we are the only love gods. Go in with me, and I will tell you my drift. It is so. The Count Claudio shall marry the daughter of Leonata.
Yea, my lord, but I can cross it.
Any bar, any cross, any impediment will be medicinal to me. I am seeking displeasure to him, and whatsoever comes athwart his affection ranges evenly with mine. How canst thou cross this marriage?
Not honestly, my lord, but so covertly that no dishonesty shall appear in me.
Show me briefly how.
I think I told your lordship a year since how much I am in the favour of Margaret, the waiting gentlewoman to Hero.
I remember.
I can, at any unseizable instant of the night, appoint her to look out at her lady's chamber window.
What life is in that to be the death of this marriage?
The poison of that lies in you to temper. Go you to the prince your brother. Spare not to tell him that he hath wronged his honour in marrying the renowned Claudio. Whose estimation do you mightily hold up to a contaminated stale, such a one as Hero?
What proof shall I make of that?
Proof enough to misuse the prince, to vex Claudio, to undo Hero and kill Leonata. Look you for any other issue?
Only to despite them, I will endeavour anything.
Go then. Find me a meet hour to draw Don Pedro and the Count Claudio alone. Tell them, you know that Hero loves me, and tend a kind of zeal, both to the prince and Claudio, as, in love of your brother's honour, who hath made this match, and his friend's reputation, who is thus like to be cozened with the semblance of a maid, that you have discovered thus. They will scarcely believe this without trial. Offer them instances, which shall bear no less likelihood than to see me at her chamber window. Hear me call Margaret Hero. Hear Margaret term me Claudio, and bring them to see this the very night before the intended wedding. For in the meantime I will so fashion the matter that Hero shall be absent, and there shall appear such seeming truth of Hero's disloyalty that jealousy shall be called assurance, and all the preparation overthrown.
Grow this to what adverse issue it can, I will put it in practice. Be cunning in the working thus, and thy fee is 1,000 ducats.
Be you constant in the accusation, and my cunning shall not shame me.
Ahoy!
Signor,
In my chamber window lies a book. Bring it hither to me in the orchard.
I am here already, sir.
I know that, but I would have thee hence and here again. Ha! The prince and Monsieur Love. I will hide me in the arbor.
Come, shall we hear this count's music?
Yea, my good lord, how still the evening is, as hushed on purpose to grace harmony.
See you where Benedick hath hid himself?
Oh, very well, my lord. The music ended, we'll fit the hid box with a pennyworth.
Come, Claudio, we'll hear that song again.
Oh, good, my lord, tax not so bad a voice.
It is the witness still of excellency to put a strange face on his own perfection.
Sing, let me woo thee for it no more.
Because you talk of wooing, he will sing, since many a wooer doth commence his suit. To her he thinks not worthy, yet he woos. Yet will he swear he loves.
Now pray thee, come, or if thou wilt hold longer argument, do it in notes.
Note this before my notes. There's not a note of mine that's worth the noting.
Why, these are very crotchets that he speaks. Note, notes, forsooth and nothing.
Sigh no more, ladies, sigh no more. Men were deceivers ever. 1 foot in sea and 1 on shore. To one thing constant never. Then sigh not so, but let them go. And be you blithe and bonny. Converting all your sounds of woe into hey nonny nonny. Sing no more ditties, sing no mo of dump so dull and heavy. The fraud of men was ever so since summer first was.
a good song.
And an ill singer, my lord.
Ha! No, no, Faith, thou thinkest well enough for a shift.
If he had been a dog that had howled thus, they would have hanged him. And I pray God his bad voice bode no mischief. I had rather have heard the night raven, come what plague should have come after it.
Balthasar, I pray thee, get us some excellent sheet music for a love song. For tomorrow night we would have Claudio played at the Lady Hero's chamber window.
I'll get the best I can, my lord.
Do so. Farewell. Come hither, Leonata. What was it you told me of today? That your niece Beatrice was in love with Signor Benedick?
Oh, aye, stalk on, the fowl sits. I did never think that lady would have loved any man.
No, nor I either, but most wonderful that she should so dote on Signor Benedick, whom she hath in all outward behaviours seemed ever to abhor.
Is it possible? Sits the wind in that corner?
By my troth, my lord, I cannot tell what to think of it, but that she loves him with an enraged affection. It is past the infinities of thought.
Maybe she doth but counterfeit.
Faith, like enough.
Oh God, counterfeit. There was never counterfeit of passion came so near the life of passion.
Why, what effects of passion shows she?
Bait the hook well, this fish will bite.
What effects, my lord? She will sit you thus. Ah! You heard my daughter tell you how?
She did indeed.
How? How, pray you? You amaze me. I would have I thought her spirit had been invincible against all assaults of affection.
I would have sworn it had, my lord, especially against Benedick.
She hath taken the infection. Hold it up.
Hath she made her affection known to Benedick?
No, and swears she never will. That's her torment.
'Tis true indeed. So your daughter says. Shall I, says she, that have so oft encountered him with scorn, write to him that I love him?
This says she now when she is beginning to write to him, for she'll be up 20 times a night, and there will she sit in her smock till she have writ a sheet of paper. My daughter tells us all.
Now you talk of a sheet of paper. I remember a pretty jest your daughter told us of.
Oh, when she had read it and was reading it over, she found Benedick and Beatrice between the sheet.
That?
Oh, she tore the letter into 1,000 half-piece, railed at herself, and that she should be so immodest to write to one that she knew would flout her. I measure him, says she, by my own spirit, for I should flout him if he writ to me. Yea, though I love him, I should.
Then down upon her knees she falls, weeps, sobs, beats her heart, tears her hair, prays, curses. Oh, sweet Benedick, God give me patience.
She doth indeed. My daughter says so. And the ecstasy hath so much overborne her that my daughter is sometimes afeard she will do a desperate outrage to herself. It is very true.
It were good that Benedick knew of it by some other, if she will not discover it.
To what end? He would make but a sport of it and torment the poor lady worse.
If he should, it were an alms to hang him. She's an excellent, sweet lady, and out of all suspicion. She is virtuous.
And she is exceeding wise.
In everything but in loving Benedick.
Oh, my lord, wisdom and passion combating in so tender a body, we have 10 proofs to 1 that passion hath the victory. I am sorry for her, as I have just cause.
I would she had bestowed this dotage on me. I would have daffed all other respects and made her half myself. I pray you, tell Benedick of it, hear what it will say.
Were it good, think you?
Hero thinks surely she will die, for she says she will die if he love her not, and she will die ere she make her love known, and she will die if he woo her rather than she will bate one breath of her accustomed crossness.
She doth well. If she should make tender of her love, 'tis very possible he'll scorn it for the man, as you know. hath a contemptible spirit.
He is a very proper man.
He hath indeed a good outward happiness.
Before God, and in my mind, very wise.
He doth indeed show some sparks that are like wit.
And I take him to be valiant.
As Hector, I assure you, and in the managing of quarrels you may say he is wise, for either he avoids them with great discretion, or undertakes them with a most Christian-like fear.
If he do fear God, he must necessarily keep peace. If he break the peace, he ought to enter into a quarrel with fear and trembling.
Well, I am sorry for your niece. Shall we go seek Benedick and tell him of her love?
Never tell him, my lord. Let her wear it out with good counsel.
Well, we will hear further of it by your daughter. Let it cool the while. I love Benedick well, and I could wish he would modestly examine himself to see how much he is unworthy so good a lady.
If he do not dote on her upon this, I will never trust my expectation.
Let there be the same net spread for her, and that must your daughter and her gentlewoman carry. The sport will be, when they hold one an opinion of another's dotage, there is no such matter. Let us send her to call him in to dinner.
My lord, will you walk? Dinner is ready.
This can be no trick. The conference of it was seriously born. They have the truth of this from Hero. They seem to pity the lady. Love me. Why, it must be requited. I hear how I am censured. They say I will bear myself proudly if I perceive the love come from her. They say, too, that she will rather die than give any sign of affection. I must not seem proud. Happy are they that can hear their detractions and put them to mending. They say the lady is fair. 'Tis a truth, I can bear them witness. And virtuous, 'tis so, I cannot reprove it. And wise, but for loving me. I may have some wit broken on me, because I have railed so long against marriage, but shall quips and sentences and these paper bullets of the brain awe a man from the pursuit of his passion? No, the world must be peopled. When I said I would die a bachelor, I did not think I should live till I were married. Here comes Beatrice. By this day, she's a fair lady. I do spy some marks of love in her.
Against my will, I am bid send you come in to dinner.
Fair Beatrice, I thank you for your pains.
I took no more pains for those thanks than you take pains to thank me. If it had been painful, I would not have come.
You take pleasure, then, in the message?
Yea, just so much as you may take on a knife's point, and choke a doll withal. You have no stomach, signor, fare you well.
Ha! Against my will, I am sent to bid you come in to dinner. There's a double meaning in that. I took no more pains for those thanks than you took pains to thank me. That's as much as to say, any pains that I take for you is as easy as thanks. If I do not take pity of her, I am a villain. I will go get her picture.
Good Margaret, run thee to the parlor. There shalt thou find my cousin Beatrice proposing with the prince and Claudio. Whisper her ear and tell her, I and Ursula walk in the orchard, and our whole discourse is all of her. There she will hide to listen to our purpose. This is thy office. Fare thee well in it, and leave us alone.
I'll make her come, I warrant you, presently.
Now, Ursula, when Beatrice doth come, as we do trace this alley up and down, our talk must only be of Benedick. When I do name him, let it be thy part to praise him more than ever man did merit. My talk to thee must be how Benedick is sick in love with Beatrice. Of this matter is little Cupid's crafty arrow made, that only wounds by hearsay. Now begin, for look where Beatrice like a lapwing runs close by the ground to hear our conference.
The pleasantest angling is to see the fish cut with her golden oars the silver stream, and greedily devour the treacherous bait. So angle we for Beatrice, and even now is couched in the woodbine coverture. Fear you not my part of the dialogue.
Then we go near her, that her ear lose nothing of the false sweet bait that we lay for it. No, truly, Ursula, she is too disdainful. I know her spirits are as coy and wild as haggards of the rock.
But are you sure that Benedick loves Beatrice so entirely?
So says the prince and my new-trothed lord.
And did they bid you tell her of it, madam?
They did entreat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them, if they loved Benedick, to wish him wrestle with affection and never let Beatrice know of it.
Why did you so? Doth not the gentleman deserve as full as fortunate a bed as ever Beatrice shall couch upon?
Oh, God of love! I know he doth deserve as much as may be yielded to a man. But nature never framed a woman's heart of prouder stuff than that of Beatrice. Disdain and scorn ride sparkling in her eyes, misprizing what they look on, and her wit values itself so highly that to her all matter else seems weak. She cannot love, nor take no shape, nor project of affection. She is so self-endeared.
Sure, I think so. And therefore certainly it were not good she knew his love, lest she make sport of it.
Why, you speak truth. I never yet saw man, how wise, how noble, young, how rarely featured. But she would spell him backward. If fair-faced, she'd swear the man should be her sister. If tall, a lance ill-headed. If low, and a gait very vilely cut. If speaking, why, a vein blown with all winds. If silent, why, a blocked move with none. So turns she every man the wrong side out, and never gives to truth and virtue that which simpleness and merit purchaseth.
Sure, such carping is not commendable.
No, not to be so odd and from all fashions as Beatrice is, cannot be commendable. But who dare tell her so? If I should speak, she would mock me into air. Oh, she would laugh me out of myself, press me to death with wit. Therefore, let Benedick, like covered fire, consume away in sighs, waste inwardly. It would be a better death than die with mocks, which is as bad as die with tickling.
Yet tell her of it. Hear what she will say.
No, rather I will go to Benedick, and counsel him to fight against his passion. And truly I'll devise some honest slanders to stain my cousin with. One doth not know how much an ill word may empoison liking.
Oh, do not do your cousin such a wrong. She cannot be so much without true judgment. Having so swift and excellent a wit, and she is prized to have, as to refuse so rare a gentleman as Signor Benedick.
He is the only man of Italy. Always excepted my dear Claudio.
I pray you, be not angry with me, madam. Speaking my fancy, Signor Benedick, for shape, for bearing, argument, and valor, goes foremost in report through Italy.
Indeed, he hath an excellent good name.
His excellence did earn it, ere he had it. When are you married, madam?
Why, every day tomorrow. Come, go in. I'll show thee some attires and have thy counsel, which is the best to furnish me tomorrow.
She's hooked, I warrant you. We have caught her, madam.
If it proves so, then loving goes by haps. Some Cupid kills with arrows, some with traps.
What fire is in mine ears? Stand I condemned for pride and scorn so much? Contempt farewell, and maiden pride adieu. No glory lives behind the back of such. and Benedick. Love on. I will requite thee, taming my wild heart to thy loving hand. If thou dost love, my kindness shall incite thee to bind up our loves in holy band. For others say thou dost deserve, and I believe it better than reportingly.
I do but stay till your marriage be consummate, and then I go toward Aragon.
I'll bring you thither, my lord, if you'll vouchsafe me.
Nay, that would be as great a soil in the new gloss of your marriage as to show a child his new coat and forbid him to wear it. I will only be bold with Benedick for his company, for from the crown of his head to the sole of his foot he is all mirth. He hath twice or thrice cut Cupid's bowstring, and the little hangman dare not shoot at him. He hath a heart as sound as a bell, and his tongue is the clapper, for what his heart thinks, his tongue speaks.
Gallant, I am not as I have been.
So say I. Methinks you are sadder.
I hope he be in love.
Hang him, truant. There's no true drop of blood in him to be truly touched with love. If he be sad, it's because he lacks money.
I have the toothache.
Draw it.
Hang it.
You must hang it first and draw it afterwards.
What? Sigh for the toothache?
Where is but a humour or a worm?
Well, everyone can master grief but he that has it.
Yet, say I, he is in love.
There is no appearance of fancy in him, unless it be a fancy that he hath to strange disguises, as to be a Dutchman today, a Frenchman tomorrow, or in the shape of two countries at once, as a German from the waist downward all slops, and a Spaniard from the hip upward, no doublet. Unless he have a fancy to this foolery, as it appears he hath, he is no fool for fancy, as you would have it appear he is.
If he be not in love with some woman, there is no believing old signs. He even brushes his hat in the mornings. What should that bode?
Hath any man seen him at the barber's?
No, but the barber's man hath been seen with him, and the old ornament of his cheek hath already stuffed tennis balls.
Indeed, he looks younger than he did, by the loss of a beard.
Hey, and he rubs himself with cologne. Can you smell him out by that?
That's as much as to say the sweet youth's in love.
The greatest note of it is his melancholy.
And when was he wont to wash his face?
Yea, or to paint himself.
Nay, but note his jesting spirit, which is now crept into a lute string and is governed by stops.
Indeed, that tells a heavy tale for him. Conclude. Conclude he is in love.
Nay, but I know who loves him.
That I would know too, I warrant, one that knows him not.
Yes, and his ill conditions, and in despite of all, dies for him.
Yet this is no charm for the toothache. Dear Signora, walk aside with me. I have studied 8 or 9 wise words to speak with you, which these hobby horses must not hear.
For my life, to break with her about Beatrice.
'Tis even so. Hero and Margaret have by this played their parts with Beatrice, and then the two bears will not bite one another when they meet.
My lord and brother, God save you. Good day, brother. If your leisure served, I would speak with you. In private? If it please you, yet Count Claudio may hear, for what I would speak of concerns him. What's the matter? Means your lordship to be married tomorrow? You know he does. I know not that. When he knows what I know.
If there be any impediment, I pray you discover it.
You may think I love you not. Let that appear hereafter. For my brother, I think he holds you well, and in dearness of heart hath hope to effect your ensuing marriage. Surely, suited ill spent, and labour ill bestowed. Why? What's the matter? I came hither to tell you, and circumstances shortened, for she has been too long a talking of The lady is disloyal.
Who? Hero?
Even she, Leonata's hero, your hero, every man's hero.
Disloyal?
The word is too good to paint out her wickedness. I could say she were worse. Think of a worse title. Wonder not till further warrant. Go but with me tonight, and you shall see her chamber window entered even the night before her wedding day. If you love her, then tomorrow wed her. But it would better fit your honour to change your mind.
May this be so?
I will not think it. If you will follow me, I will show you enough, and when you have seen more and heard more, proceed accordingly.
If I see anything tonight why I should not marry her, tomorrow in the congregation where I should wed, there will I shame her.
And as I would for thee to obtain her, I will join with thee to disgrace her. I will disparage her no further till you are my witnesses. Bear it coldly, but till midnight, and let the issue show itself. O day untowardly turned.
O mischief strangely thwarting.
O plague might well prevent it. So will you say when you have seen the scene.
Are you good men and true?
Yea, or else it were pity that they should suffer salvation, body and soul.
Nay, that's for a punishment too good for them, if they should have any allegiance in them being chosen for the prince's watch.
Well, give them their charge, neighbor Dogberry.
First, who think you the most desertless man to be constable?
Hugh Oatcake, sir, or George Seacliff, for they can write and read.
Come hither, neighbor Oatcake. God hath blessed you with a good name, to be a well-favored man is the gift of fortune. And to write and read comes by nature.
Both which, Master
You
Constable?
have. I knew it would be your answer. Well, for your favour, sir, why, give God thanks, and make no boast of it. And for your writing and reading, let that appear when there is no need of such vanity. You are thought here to be the most senseless and fit man for the constable of the watch. This is your charge. You shall comprehend all vagabond men, nor to bid any man stand in the prince's name.
What if he will not stand?
Why, then take no note of him, but let him go, and presently call the rest of the watch together, and thank God you are rid of the neighbor.
If he will not stand, then he is bidden, then he is none of the prince's subjects.
True, and they are to meddle with none but the prince's subjects. You shall also make no noise in the streets, for the watch to babble and to talk is most tolerable and not to be endured.
We will rather sleep than talk. We know it belongs to a watch.
Why, you speak like an ancient and most quiet watchman, for I cannot see how sleeping should offend. Only have a care that your swords be not stolen. Well, you are to call up the alehouses and bid those that are drunk get them to bed.
What if they will not?
Why, then let them alone till they are sober. If they make you not them a better answer, you may say they are not the men you took them for.
Aye, sir.
If you meet a thief, you may suspect him. By virtue of your office, to be no true man, and for such kind of men, the less you meddle or make with them, why the more is for your honesty.
If we know him to be a thief, shall we not lay hands on him?
Truly, by your office you may, but I think they that touch pitchfully defiled. The most peaceable way for you, if you do take a thief, is to let him show himself what he is and steal out of your company.
You have always been called a merciful man, partner.
Truly, I would not hang a dog by my will, much more a man who hath any honesty in him.
If you hear a child cry in the night, you must call to the nurse and bid her still it. What if the nurse be asleep and will not hear us?
Why then, depart in peace, and let the child wake her with crying, for the ewe will not hear her lamb when it bays, will never answer a cat when he eats.
'Tis very true.
This is the end of the charge. You, constable, are to present the prince's own person. If you meet the prince in the night, you may stay.
Nay, by Our Lady, I think he cannot.
5 shillings to 1 o't. And with any man that knows the statutes, he may stay him. Marry, not without the prince be willing. For, indeed, the watch ought to offend no man, and it is an offence to stay a man against his will.
By Our Lady, I think it be so.
Well, masters, good night. If there be any matter of weighty chances, call up me. Keep your fellows' counsels and your own, and good night. Come, neighbor.
Well, masters, we heard our charge. Let us go keep our watch till 2. Then, all to bed.
One word more, honest neighbors. I pray you watch about Signora Leonata's door. For the wedding being there tomorrow, there's a great coil tonight. Addio. Be vigilant, I beseech you.
What, Conrad?
Peace, not stir.
Conrad, I say.
Here, man. I'm at thy elbow.
Mass, and my elbow itched. I thought there would a scab follow.
I owe thee an answer for that. But now, forward with thy tale.
Stand thee close and under this pentiment, for it drizzled rain, and I was like a true drunkard after all to the
Some treasons, masters, yet. Stand close.
Therefore, know I have earned of Don John 1,000 ducats.
1,000 ducats? Is it possible any villainy could be so dear?
Thou shouldst rather ask if it were possible any villainy should be so rich. For when rich villains have need of poor ones may make what price they will.
I wonder at it.
That shows thou art unconfirmed. Thou knowest that the fashion of a doublet, or a hat, or a cloak, is nothing to a man.
What? Yes, it is apparel.
I mean the fashion.
Yes, the fashion is the fashion.
I may as well say the fool's the fool. But seest thou not what a deformed thief this fashion is?
I know that deformed. He has been a vile thief this 7 year. He goes up and down like a gentleman. I remember his name.
Didst thou not hear somebody?
No, 'twas the vein on the house.
Seest thou not? I say, what a deformed thief this fashion is. How giddily he turns about all the hot bloods between 14 and 5 and 30. Sometimes fashion them like Pharaoh's soldiers in the Riki painting. Sometime like God-felled priests in the old church window. Sometime like a shaven Hercules in a smirched, worm-eaten tapestry, where his codpiece seems as massive as his club.
All this I see, and I see fashion wears out more apparel than the man. But art thou not thyself giddy with the passion too, that thou hast shifted out thy tale into telling me of the fashion?
Not so neither, but know that I have tonight wooed Margaret, the lady hero's gentlewoman by the name of Hero. She leans me out at her mistress' chamber window, bids me 1,000 times good night. I tell this tale vilely. I should first tell thee how the prince, Claudio my master, planted and placed and possessed by my master Don John, saw far off in the orchard this amiable encounter.
And thought they Margaret was Hero?
2 of them did, the prince and Claudio. But the devil my master knew she was Margaret, and partly by his oaths, which first possessed them, partly by the dark night, which did deceive them, but chiefly by my villainy, which did confirm any slander that Don John had made, away went Claudio enraged, swore he would meet her, as he was appointed, next morning at the temple, and there, before the whole congregation, shame her with what he saw o'ernight, and send her home again without a husband.
We charge you in the prince's name. Stand! Call up the right master constable. We have here recovered the most dangerous piece of lechery that was ever known in the Commonwealth.
Masters! Masters!
You'll be made to bring deformed forth, I warrant you.
Masters!
Never speak, we charge you.
We'll obey you.
Good Ursula, wake my cousin Beatrice and desire her to rise,
I will, lady.
and bid her come hither.
Very well.
Troth, I think your other rebatoe were better.
No, pray thee, good Meg, I'll wear this.
Why, my troth's not so good, and I warrant your cousin will say so.
My cousin's a fool, and thou art another. I'll wear none but this.
I like the new tire within excellently. If the hair were a thought browner, and your gown's a most rare fashion, in faith. I saw the Duchess of Milan's gown that they praise so.
Oh, that exceeds, they say.
Why, my troth, it's nothing but a nightgown in respect of yours. Cloth of gold and cuts and lace with silver, set with pearls, down sleeves, side sleeves, and skirts round underborne with a bluish tinsel. But for a fine, quaint, graceful, and excellent fashion, yours is worth 10 in it.
God give me joy to wear it, for my heart is exceeding heavy.
'Twill be heavier soon by the weight of a man.
Fie upon thee! Are not ashamed?
Of what, lady? Of speaking honourably? Is not marriage honourable in a beggar? Is not your lord honourable without marriage? I think you would have me say, saving your reverence, a husband, and bad thinking do not rest true speaking. I'll offend nobody. Is there any harm in the heavier for a husband? None, I think. And it be the right husband and the right wife, otherwise 'tis light and not heavy. Ask my lady Beatrice. Here she comes.
Good morrow, coz.
Good morrow, sweet hero.
Oh, why, how now? Do you speak in the sick tune?
I'm all out of other tunes, methinks.
Claps into light of love, that goes without a burden. Do you sing it, and I'll dance it.
You light a love with your heels, and if your husband have stables enough, you'll see he shall lack no barns.
Oh, illegitimate construction, I scorn that with my heels.
'Tis almost 5 o'clock, cousin. 'Tis time you were ready. By my troth, I am exceeding ill. Hey, oh.
For a hawk, a horse, or a husband?
For the letter that begins them all. H.
What means the fool, truly?
Nothing, say I, but God send everyone their heart's desire.
These gloves the Count sent me, they are an excellent perfume.
I am stuffed, cousin. I cannot smell.
Made and stuffed? There's a goodly catching of cold.
Oh, God help me! God help me! How long have you professed apprehension?
Ever since you left it. Does not my wit become me rarely?
It is not seen enough. You should wear it in your cap. By my troth, I am sick.
Get you some of this distilled Cardus Benedictus and lay it to your heart. It is the only thing for a qualm.
Benedictus? Why Benedictus? Have you some moral in this Benedictus?
Moral? No, by my troth. I have no moral meaning. I meant plain holy thistle. You may think perchance that I think you are in love. Nay, by Our Lady, I am not such a fool to think what I list, nor I list not to think what I can, nor indeed I cannot think, if I would think my heart out of thinking, that you are in love, that you will be in love, or that you can be in love. Yet Benedict was such another, and now he has become a man. He swore he would never marry, and yet now, in despite of his heart, he eats his meat without grudging. And how you may be converted, I know not. But methinks you look with your eyes as other women do.
What pace is this that thy tongue keeps?
Not a false scallop.
Madam, withdraw. The Prince, the Count, Signor Benedick, Don Juan, and all the gallants of the town are come to fetch you to church.
Help to dress me.
What would you with me, honest neighbor?
Marry, good lady, I would have some confidence with you that discerns you nearly.
Brief, I pray you, for you see it is a busy time with me.
Mary, this is his, ma'am. Yes, in truth it is, ma'am.
What is it, my good friends?
Good man Verges, sir, speaks little of the matter. An old man, sir, and his wits are not so blunt as I would desire they were. but in faith he's as honest as the skin between his brows. Yes, I thank God I am as honest as any man living. That is an old man, no honester than I. Comparisons are odorous. Palavers, neighbor Verges.
Neighbors, you are tedious.
It pleases your worship to say so, but we are the poor Duke's officers. Truly, for mine own part, if I were as tedious as a king, I would find it in my heart to bestow it all on your worship.
All thy tediousness on me, eh?
Yea, if 'twere 1,000 pound more than 'tis, for I hear as good exclamation on your worship as of any woman in the city. And though I be but a poor man, I am glad to hear it. And so am I.
I would love to know what you have to say.
Marry, sir, our watch tonight, accepting your worship's presence, have taken a couple of us as errant knaves as Annie and Messina. A gold old man, sir, he will be talking. As they say, when the age is in, the wit is out. God help us. It is a world to see. Well said, in faith, neighbor Verges. Well, God's a good man. If 2 men ride on a horse, 1 must ride behind.
Indeed, neighbor, he comes too short of you.
Gives that God gives.
I must leave.
One word, sir. Our watch, sir, have indeed comprehended 2 auspicious persons, and we would have them this morning examined before your worship.
Take their examination yourself and bring it to me. I am now in great haste, as it may appear unto you.
Salvi, sufficience.
My lady, they stay for you to give your daughter to her husband.
I'll wait upon them. I am ready.
Go, good partner, go. Get you to Hugh Oakcake. Bid him bring his pen and inkhorn to the jail. We are now to examination, these men, and we must do it wisely.
Come, Friar Francis, be brief, only to the plain form of marriage, and you shall recount their particular duties afterwards.
You come hither, my lord, to marry this lady.
No.
To be married to her. Friar, you come to marry her.
Lady, you come hither to be married to this count.
I do.
If either of you know any inward impediment why you should not be conjoined, I charge you on your souls to utter it.
Know you any, hero?
None, my lord.
Know you any, count?
I dare make his answer, none.
Oh, what men dare do, what men may do, what men daily do, not knowing what they do.
Interjections? Why then some be as laughing as ah ha he.
Stand thee by, friar. Lady, by your leave, will you with free and unconstrained soul give me this maid, your daughter?
As freely, son, as God did give her to me.
And what have I to give you back, whose worth may counterpoise this rich and precious gift?
Nothing, unless you render her again.
Sweet prince, you learn me noble thankfulness. There, Leonata, take her back again. Give not this rotten orange to your friend. She's but the sign and semblance of her honor. Behold how like a maid she blushes here. Comes not that blood as modest evidence to witness simple virtue? Would you not swear, all you that see her, that she were a maid by these exterior shows? But she is none. She knows the heat of a luxurious bed. Her blush is guiltiness, not modesty.
What do you mean, my lord?
Not to be married, not to knit my soul to an approved wanton.
Dear my lord, if you, in your own proof, have vanquished the resistance of her youth and made defeat of her virginity...
I know what you would say. If I have known her, you will say she did embrace me as a husband, and so extenuate the forehand sin. No, Leonata, I never tempted her with word too large, but as a brother to his sister, showed bashful sincerity and comely love.
And seemed I ever otherwise to you?
Out on thee, seeming. I will write against it. You seem to me as Diane in her orb, as chaste as the bud ere it be blown. But you are more intemperate in your blood than Venus, or those pampered animals that rage in savage sensuality.
Is my lord well, that he doth speak so wise?
Sweet prince, why speak you not?
What should I speak? I stand dishonoured, that have gone about to link my dear friend to a common stale.
Are these things spoken, or do I but dream?
They are spoken, and these things are true.
True? Oh, God!
Leonata, stand I here? Is this the prince? Is this the prince's brother? Is this face hero's? Are our eyes our own?
All this is so. But what of this, my lord?
Let me move but one question to your daughter, and by that motherly and kindly power that you have in her, bid her answer truly.
I charge thee do so.
Oh, God, defend me! How am I beset? What kind of catechizing call you this?
To make you answer truly to your name.
Is it not Hero? Who can blot that name with any just reproach?
That can Hero. Hero itself can blot out Hero's virtue. What man was he talked with you yesternight out at your window betwixt 12 and 1? Now, if you were a maiden, answer to this.
I talked with no man at that hour, my lord.
Why, then you are no maiden. Leonata, I am sorry you must hear. Upon my honour, myself, my brother, and this grieved count did see her, hear her, at that hour last night, talk with a ruffian at her chamber window, who hath indeed, like a most liberal villain, confessed the vile encounters they have had 1,000 times in secret. Fie, they are not to be named, my lord, not to be spoke of. There is not chastity enough in language without offence to utter them. Thus, pretty lady, I am sorry for thy much misgovernment.
Oh, hero, what a hero hadst thou been, if half thy outward graces had been placed about thy thoughts and counsels of thy heart. But fare thee well, most foul, most fair. Farewell, thou pure impiety and impious purity.
Come, let us go. These things come to light. Smother her spirits.
How now, cousin? Wherefore sink you down? Hero, here, Benedick Friar.
Hath no man's dagger here a point for me?
Oh no, cousin Hero.
O fate, take not away thy heavy hand. Death is the fairest cover for the shame that may be wished for.
Comfort, lady.
Dost thou look up?
Yea, wherefore should she not?
Wherefore? Why doth not every earthly thing cry shame upon her? Could she here deny the story that is printed in her blood? Do not live, hero. Do not ope thy eyes. For, did I think thou wouldst not quickly die, thought I thy spirits were stronger than thy shames, myself would, on the rearward of reproaches, strike at thy life. Grieved I had but one. Chid I, for that at frugal nature's frame, oh, one too much by thee. Why had I won? Why ever wast thou lovely in my eyes? Why had I not with charitable hand took up a beggar's issue at my gates, who smirched thus and mired with infamy? I might have said, no part of it is mine. This shame derives itself from unknown loins, but mine, and mine I loved, and mine I praised, and mine that I was proud on, mine so much that I myself was to myself not mine, valuing of her. Why she is fallen into a pit of ink that the wide sea hath drops too few to wash her clean again, and salt too little which may season give to her foul tainted flesh.
Lady, be patient. For my part, I am so attired in wonder, I know not what to say.
Oh, on my soul, my cousin is belied.
Lady, were you her bedfellow last night?
No, truly not. Although, until last night, I have this 12 months been her bedfellow.
Confirmed. Confirmed. Oh, that is stronger maid which was before barred up with ribs of iron. Would the two princes lie, and Claudio lie, who loved her so, that speaking of her foulness washed it with tears? Hence from her, let her die.
Hear me a little, for I have only been silent so long, and given way unto this course of fortune by noting of the lady. I have marked 1,000 blushing apparitions to start into her face, 1,000 innocent shames in angel whiteness beat away those blushes, and in her eye there hath appeared a fire to burn the errors that these princes hold against her maiden truth. Call me a fool, if this sweet lady lie not guiltless here, under some biting error.
Friar, it cannot be. Thou seest that all the grace that she hath left is that she will not add to her damnation a sin of perjury. She not denies it. Why seekest thou then to cover with excuse that which appears in proper nakedness?
Lady, what man is he you are accused of?
They know that to accuse me. I know none. If I know more of any man alive than that which maiden modesty doth warrant, let all my sins lack mercy. O my mother, prove you that any man with me conversed at hours unmeet, or that I yesternight maintained the change of words with any creature, refuse me, hate me, torture me to death.
There is some strange misprision in the princes.
2 of them have the very bent of honor, and if their wisdoms be misled in this, the practice of it lives in John the bastard, whose spirits toil in frame of villainies.
I know not. If they speak the truth of her, these hands shall tear her. If they wrong her honor, the proudest of them shall well hear of it. Time hath not yet so dried this blood of mine, nor age so eaten up my invention, nor fortune made such havoc of my means, nor my bad life reft me so much of friends. But they shall find, awakened in such a kind, both strength of limb and policy of mind, ability in means and choice of friends, to quit of them thoroughly.
Pause a while, and let my counsel sway you in this case. Your daughter here the princess left for dead. Let her a while be secretly kept in, and publish it that she is dead indeed. Maintain a mourning ostentation, and on your family's old monument hang mournful epitaphs, and do all rites that appertain unto a burial.
What shall become of this? What will this do?
Marry, this well carried shall on her behalf change slander to remorse. That is some good. But not for that dream I on this strange course, but on this travail look for greater birth. She dying, as it must so be maintained, upon the instant that she was accused, shall be lamented, pitied, and excused of every hearer. For it so falls out that what we have we prize not to the worth whiles we enjoy it, but being lacked and lost, why then we rack the value, then we find the virtue that possession would not show us whiles it was ours. So will it fare with Claudio. When he shall hear she died upon his words, the idea of her life shall sweetly creep into his study of imagination, and every lovely organ of her life shall come apparelled in more precious habit, more moving, delicate, and full of life, into the eye and prospect of his soul, than when she lived indeed. Then shall he mourn, if ever love had interest in his liver, and wish he had not so accused her. No, though he thought his accusation true. Let this be so, and doubt not but success will fashion the event in better shape than I can lay it down in likelihood. But if all aim but this be levelled false, the supposition of the lady's death will quench the wonder of her infamy. And if it sort not well, you may conceal her, as best befits her wounded reputation in some reclusive and religious life, out of all eyes, tongues, minds, and injuries.
Signora Leonata, let the friar advise you. And though you know my inwardness and love is very much unto the prince and Claudio, yet by mine honour I will deal in this as secretly and justly as your soul should with your body.
Being that I flow in grief, the smallest twine may lead me.
'Tis well consented. Presently away. For to strange souls strangely they strain the cure. Come, lady, die to live. This wedding day, perhaps, is but prolonged. Have patience that endure.
Lady Beatrice, have you wept all this while?
Yet, I will weep a while longer.
I will not desire that.
You have no reason. I do it freely.
Surely I do believe your fair cousin is wronged.
How much might the man deserve of me that would right her?
Is there any way to show such friendship?
Very even way. But no such friend.
May a man do it?
It is the man's office, but not yours.
I do love nothing in the world so well as you. Is not that strange?
As strange as the thing I know not. It were as possible for me to say I love nothing so well as you. But believe me not, and yet I lie not. I confess nothing, nor deny nothing. I am sorry for my cousin.
By my sword, Beatrice, thou lovest me.
Do not swear and eat it.
I will swear by it that you love me, and I will make him eat it that says I love not you,
Will you not eat your word?
with no sauce that can be devised to it. I protest I love thee.
Why then, God forgive me.
What offense, sweet Beatrice?
You have stayed me in a happy hour. I was about to protest I loved you.
And do so with all thy heart.
I love you with so much of my heart that none is left to protest.
Come, bid me do anything for thee.
Kill Claudio.
Ha! Not for the wide world.
You kill me to deny it. Farewell.
Tarry, sweet Beatrice.
I'm gone though I am here. There is no love in you. I pray you let me go.
Beatrice,
In faith I will go.
we'll be friends first.
You dare easier be friends with me than fight with mine enemy?
Is Claudio thine enemy?
Is he not approved in the height of villain that hath slandered, scorned, dishonored my kinswoman? Oh, that I were a man! What, bear her in hand until they come to take hands, and then with public accusation uncover slander, unmitigated rancor. Oh, that I were a man! I would eat his heart in the marketplace.
Hear me,
Talk
Beatrice.
with a man out at a window, a proper saying.
Hear me, Beatrice.
Is wrong.
Nay, but
She
Beatrice.
is slandered, she is
Beatrice.
undone. Princes and counties! Surely a princely testimony, a goodly comfort, a sweet gallant, surely. Oh, that I were a man for his sake. That I had any friend that would be a man for my sake. But manhood is melted into courtesies, valor into compliment, and men are turned only into tongue, and trim ones too. He is now as valiant as Hercules, that only tells a lie, and swears it.
Hear me, Beatrice.
I cannot be a man with wishing, therefore I will die amid grieving.
Tarry, good Beatrice. By this hand I love thee.
Use it for my love some other way than swearing by it.
Think you in your soul the Count Claudio hath wronged Hero?
Yea, as sure as I have a thought or a soul.
Enough. I am engaged. I will challenge him. I will kiss your hand, and so I leave you. By this hand Claudio shall render me a dear account. As you hear of me, so think of me. Go, comfort your cousin. I must say she is dead. And so, farewell.
Is our whole assembly appeared?
Aye, with an extra cushion for the sexton.
Which be the malefactors?
Marry, that am I and my partner.
Nay, that's certain. We have the exhibition to examine.
But which are the offenders that are to be examined? Let them come before Master Constable.
Yea, Mary, let them come before me. What is your name, friend?
Borachio.
Pray write down Borachio. Yours, Sirrah?
I am a gentleman, sir, and my name is Conrade.
Write down Master Gentleman Conrad. Masters, do you serve God?
Yea, sir, we hope.
Write down that they hope they serve God, and write God first. For God defend, but God should go before such villains. Masters, it is proved already that you are little better than false knaves. How answer you for yourselves?
Marry, sir, we say we are none.
A marvelous witty fellow, I assure you. But I will go about with him. Come you hither, Sirrah. A word in your ear, sir, I say to you. It is thought you are false knaves.
Sir, I say to you, we are none.
Well, stand aside. God, they are both in a tale. Have you writ down that they are none?
Master Constable, you go not the way to examine. You must call forth the watch that are their accusers.
Yea, Mary, that's the eftest way. Let the watch come forth. Master, I charge you, in the prince's name, accuse these men.
This man said, sir, that Don John, the prince's brother, was a villain.
Write down Prince John a villain. Why, this is flat perjury to call a prince's brother a villain.
Master Constable.
Pray thee, fellow, pace. I do not like thy look, I promise thee.
What heard you him say else?
Marry, that he had received 1,000 ducats of Don John for accusing Lady Hero wrongfully.
Flat burglary as ever was committed.
Yea, by mass that it is.
What else, fellow?
And that Count Claudio did mean upon his words to disgrace Hero before the whole assembly and not marry her.
O villain, thou wilt be condemned into everlasting redemption for this.
What else?
This is all.
And this is more, masters, than you can deny. Prince John is this morning secretly stolen away. Hero was in this manner accused, in this very manner refused, and upon the grief of this suddenly died. Master Constable, let these men be bound and brought to Leonata's. I will go before and show her their examination.
Come, let them be opinioned.
Let them be in the hands.
Of coxswain.
Cosmonite, where's the sexton? Let him write down the prince's officer is a coxcomb. Come, bind them, thou naughty varlet.
Away! You are an ass. You are an ass.
Dost thou not suspect my place? Dost thou not suspect my years? Oh, that he were here to write me down an ass! But, masters, remember that I am an ass. Though it not be written down, yet forget not that I am an ass. I am a wise fellow, and which is more, an officer, and which is more, a householder, and which is more, as pretty a piece of flesh as any is in Messina, and which is more, one that knows the law. Bring him away. Oh, that I had been writ down an ass.
If you go on thus, you'll kill yourself, and 'tis not wisdom thus to second grief against yourself.
I pray thee, cease thy counsel, which falls into mine ears as profitless as water is a sieve. Give me not counsel, nor let no comforter delight mine ear, but such a one whose wrongs do suit with mine. Bring me a mother that so loved her child, whose joy of her is overwhelmed like mine, and bid her speak of patience. 'Tis all people's office to speak patience to those that wring under the load of sorrow, but no person's virtue nor sufficiency, to be so moral when they shall endure the like themselves. Therefore give me no counsel. My griefs cry louder than advertisement.
Therein adults from children nothing differ.
I pray thee peace. I will be flesh and blood, for there never was yet philosopher that could endure the toothache patiently, however they may have writ the style of gods.
Yet bend not all the harm upon yourself. Make those that do offend you suffer too.
There thou speakest reason. Nay, I will do so. My soul doth tell me Hero is belied, and that shall Claudio know, so shall the prince, and all of them.
Here comes the prince and Claudio, hastily.
Good day.
Good day to both of you.
We have some haste, Leonata.
Are you so hasty now? Well, all is one.
Nay, do not quarrel with us, good woman.
If she could right herself with quarreling, some of us would lie low.
Who wrongs her?
Thou dost wrong me, thou dissembler, thou. Nay, never lay thy hand upon thy sword. I fear thee not.
Marry, beshrew my hand, if it should give your age such cause of fear. In faith my hand meant nothing to my sword.
No, Claudio, to thy head thou hast so wronged mine innocent child and me, that I am forced to lay my reverence by, and, with grey hairs and bruise of many days, do challenge thee to a trial of man. I say thou hast belied mine innocent child. Thy slander hath gone through and through her heart, and she lies buried with her ancestors, oh, in a tomb where never scandal slept, save this of hers, framed by thy villainy.
My villainy?
Thine, Claudio, thine, I say.
I say not right, old woman.
I'll prove it on his body if he dare. Despite his nice fence and his active practice, his May of youth and bloom of lustihood.
Away! I will not have anything to do with you.
Canst thou so daff me? Thou hast killed my child. If thou killedst me, boy, thou shalt kill an elder.
He shall kill two of us, elders indeed, but that's no matter. Let him kill one first. Win me and wear me. Let him answer me. Come, follow me, boy. Come, sir boy. Come, follow me, sir boy. I'll whip you from your foining fence. Nay, as I am a noble, I will.
Sister?
Content yourself. God knows I love my niece, and she is dead, slandered to death by villains that dare as well answer woman indeed, as I dare take a serpent by the tongue. Boys, apes, braggarts, jacks, milksops.
Sister Antonia.
Hold you content. What, man, I know them, yea, and what they weigh, even to the utmost scruple. Scrambling, outfacing, fashion-monging boys that lie and cog and flout, deprave and slander, go antically, show outward hideousness, and speak off half a dozen dangerous words, how they might hurt their enemies if they durst. And this is all.
But, Sister Antonia.
Do not you meddle. Let me deal in this.
Gentle women both, we will not wake your patience. My heart is sorry for your daughter's death, but on my honour, she was charged with nothing but what was true and very full of proof.
My lord, my lord.
I will not hear you.
No? Come, sister, away. I will be heard.
And shall, or some of us will smart for it.
Come you, sir. If justice cannot tame you, she shall never weigh more reasons in her balance. Nay, if you be a cursing hypocrite once, you must be looked to.
How now? Two of my brother's men bound? Borachio one?
Hearken after their offence, my lord.
Officers, what offence have these men done?
Marry, sir, they have committed false report. Moreover, they have spoken untruths. Secondarily, they are slanders. Sixth, and lastly, they have belied a lady. Thirdly, they have verified unjust things. And to conclude, they are lying knaves.
First I ask thee, what they have done. Thirdly, I ask thee, what's their offence? Sixth and lastly, why they are committed, and to conclude, what you lay to their charge.
Rightly reasoned and in his own division.
Have you offended, masters, that you are thus bound to your answer? This learned constable is too cunning to be understood. What's your offence?
Sweet prince, let me go no further to mine answer. Do you hear me, and let this count kill me? I have deceived even your very eyes. What your wisdoms could not discover, these shallow fools have brought to light, who in the night overheard me confessing to this man how Don John your brother incensed me to slander the lady hero, how you were brought into the orchard and saw me court Margaret in hero's garments, how you disgraced her when you should marry her. My villainy they have upon record, which I had rather seal with my death than repeat over to my shame. The lady is dead upon mine and my master's false accusation, and briefly, I desire nothing but the reward of a villain.
Runs not this speech like iron through your blood?
I have drunk poison whilst he uttered it.
But did my brother set thee onto this?
Yea, and paid me richly for the practice of it.
He is composed and framed of treachery, and fled he is upon this villainy.
Sweet hero, now thy image doth appear in the rare semblance that I loved it first.
Come, bring away the plaintiffs. By this time our sexton hath deformed Signora Leonata of the matter. And, masters, do not forget to specify, when time and place shall serve, that I am an ass.
Here comes Mistress Signora Leonata, and the sexton too.
Which is the villain? Let me see his eyes, that when I note another man like him, I may avoid him. Which of these is he?
If you would know your wronger, look on me.
Art thou the slave that with thy breath hast killed mine innocent child?
Yea, even I alone.
No, not so, villain. Thou beliest thyself. Here stand a pair of honourable men. A third is fled, that had a hand in it. I thank you, princes, for my daughter's death. Record it with your high and worthy deeds. 'Twas bravely done, if you bethink you of it.
I know not how to pray your patience, yet I must speak. Choose your revenge yourself. Impose me to what penance your invention can lay upon my sin. Yet, sinned I not, but in mistaking.
By my soul, nor I. And yet to satisfy this good old woman, I would bend under any heavy weight that she'll enjoin me to.
I cannot bid you bid my daughter live. That were impossible. But I pray you both possess the people in Messina here, how innocent she died. And if your love can labor aught in sad invention, hang her an epitaph upon her tomb, and sing it to her bones. Sing it tonight. Tomorrow morning, come you to my house, and since you could not be my son-in-law, be yet my nephew. My sister hath a daughter, almost the copy of my child that is dead, and she alone is heir to both of us. Give her the right you should have given her cousin, and so dies my revenge.
Oh, noble lady, your overkindness doth wring tears from me. I do embrace your offer, and dispose for henceforth of poor Claudio.
Tomorrow, then, I will expect your coming. Tonight I take my leave. This naughty man shall face to face be brought to Margaret, who I believe was packed in all this wrong, hired to it by your brother.
No, by my soul she was not, nor knew not what she did when she spoke to me, but has always been just and virtuous. In anything, that I do know by her.
Moreover, sir, which indeed is not under white and black, this plaintiff here, the offender, did call me an ass. I beseech you, let it be remembered in his punishment. And also, the watch heard them talk of one deformed. They say he wears a key in his ear and a lock hanging by it, and borrows money in God's name, the which he hath used so long and never paid, that now men grow hard-hearted, and will lend nothing for God's sake. Pray you examine him on that point.
I thank thee for thy care and honest pains.
The worship speaks like a most thankful and reverend youth, and I praise God for you.
There's for thy pains.
God save the Foundation.
Go, I discharge thee of thy prisoner, and I thank thee.
I leave an errant knave with your worship, which I beseech your worship to correct yourself, for the example of others. I humbly give you leave to depart, and if a merry meeting may be wished, God prohibit it.
Until tomorrow, lords, farewell.
We will not fail.
Tonight I'll mourn with Hero.
We'll talk with Margaret how her acquaintance grew with this lewd fellow.
Pray thee, sweet Mistress Margaret, deserve well at my hands for helping me to the speech of Beatrice.
Will you then write me a sonnet in praise of my beauty?
In so high a style, Margaret, that no man living shall come over it.
To have no man come over me? Why, shall I always keep below stairs with the servants, and ne'er be mistress?
Thy wit is as quick as the greyhound's mouth. It catches.
Yours as blunt as the fencer's foils, which hit but hurt not.
A most manly wit, Margaret. It will not hurt a woman. And so, I pray thee, call Beatrice. I give thee the bucklers.
Give us the swords, we have bucklers of our own.
If you use them, Margaret, you must put in the pikes with a vice, and they are dangerous weapons for maids.
Well, I will call Beatrice to you, who I think hath legs.
And therefore will come. The God of love that sits above and knows me, how pitiful I deserve. Though I love, I cannot show it in rhyme. I have tried. I can find out no rhyme to lady but baby, an innocent rhyme. For scorn, horn, a hard rhyme. For school, fool, a babbling rhyme. Very ominous endings. No, I was not born under a rhyming planet, nor I cannot woo in festival terms. Sweet Beatrice, wouldst thou come when I called thee?
Yea, Signor, and depart when you bid me.
Oh, stay but till then.
That is spoken very well now. And yet, ere I go, let me go with what I came, which is with knowing what hath passed between you and Claudio.
Only foul words, and thereupon I will kiss thee.
Foul words is but foul wind, and foul wind is but foul breath, and foul breath is noisome. Therefore I will depart unkissed.
Thou hast frighted the word out of his right sense. So forcible is thy wit. But I must tell thee plainly, Claudio undergoes my challenge, and either I must shortly hear from him, or I will subscribe him a coward. And I pray thee now, tell me, for which of my bad parts didst thou first fall in love with me?
For them all together, which maintain so politic a state of evil, they will not admit any good part to intermingle with them. But for which of my good parts did you first suffer love for me?
Suffer love, a good epithet. I do suffer love indeed, for I love thee against my will.
In spite of your heart, I think. Alas, poor heart. If you spite it for my sake, I will spite it for yours, for I will never love that which my friend hates.
Thou and I are too wise to woo peaceably.
It appears not in this confession. There's not one wise man among 20 that will praise himself.
An old instance, Beatrice, that lived in the time of good neighbors. If a man do not erect in this age his own tomb ere he dies, he shall live no longer in monument than the bell rings and the widow weeps.
And how long is that, think you?
Question. Why, an hour in clamor and a quarter in room. Therefore is it most expedient for the wise, if Don Worm, his conscience, find no impediment to the contrary, to be the trumpet of his own virtues, as I am to myself. So much for praising myself, who, I myself will bear witness, is praiseworthy. And tell me, how doth your cousin?
Very ill.
And how do you?
Very ill, too.
Serve God, love me and mend. There will I leave you too, for here comes one in haste.
Madam, you must come to your aunt. Yonder's old coil at home. It is proved my lady hero hath been falsely accused, the prince and Claudio mightily abused, and Don Juan is the author of all, who is flown and gone. Will you come presently?
Will you go hear this news, senor?
I will live in thy heart, die in thy lap, and be buried in thy eyes. And moreover, I will go with thee to thy aunt's.
Sorry's not enough when you do these things. It's just a waste of time. It does not convey what you need to say, and neither does this rhyme. Sorry's just a word, just a figment of feelings you must unwind. It doesn't accomplish the task you intended.
Is this the monument of Leonata?
It is, my lord.
Done to death by slanderous tongues was the hero that here lies. Death, in guerdon of her wrongs, gives her fame which never dies. So the life that died with shame lives in death with glorious fame. Hang thou there upon the tomb, praising her when I am dumb. Now, music, sound, and sing your solemn hymn. Pardon, goddess of the night, those that slew thy virgin night. For the witch with songs of woe, round about her tomb they go. Midnight assist our moan, help us to sigh and groan. Heavily, heavily, graves yawn and yield your dead, till death be uttered. Heavily, heavily. Now, unto thy bones good night. Yearly will I do this right.
Good morrow, masters. Put your torches out. The wolves have prayed, and look, the gentle day before the wheels of Phoebus round about dapples the drowsy east with spots of grey. Thanks to you all, and leave us. Fare you well.
Good morrow, masters, each his separate way.
Come, let us hence, and put on other weeds, and then to Leonata's we will go.
And Hymen now with luckier issue speeds than this for whom we rendered up this woe.
Did I not tell you I was innocent?
I suppose so are the prince and Claudio who accused you upon the error that we heard debated. But Margaret may have some fault for this, although against her will, as it appeared in the true course of all the questions.
Well, I am glad that things sorted so well.
And so am I, being else by faith and forced to call young Claudio to a reckoning for it.
Well, daughter, and you gentlewomen all, withdraw into a chamber by yourselves, and when I send for you, come hither masked. The prince and Claudio promised by this hour to visit me. You know your office, sister. You must be mother to your sister's daughter, and give her to young Claudio.
Which I will do with confirmed countenance.
Friar, I must entreat your pains, I think.
To do what, Signor?
To bind me, or undo me, one of them. Signora Leonata, truth it is, good Signora, your niece regards me with an eye of favour.
That eye my daughter lent her, 'tis most true.
And I do with an eye of love requite her.
The sight whereof I think you had from me, from Claudio and the prince. But what's your will?
Your answer, lady, is enigmatical, but for my will is your good will may stand with ours, this day to be conjoined in the state of honourable marriage, in which, good friar, I shall desire your help.
My heart is with your liking.
And my help. Here comes the prince and Claudio.
Good morrow to this fair assembly.
Good morrow, prince. Good morrow, Claudio. We are here to attend you. Are you yet determined today to marry with my sister's daughter?
I hold my mind truly if she be anything.
Call her forth, sister. Here's the friar ready.
Good morrow, Benedick. Why, what's the matter that you have such a February face, so full of frost, of storm and cloudiness?
I think he thinks upon the savage bull. Tush, fear not, man. We'll tip thy horns with gold, and all Europa shall rejoice at thee, as once Europa did at lusty Jove, when he would play the noble beast in love.
Bull Jove, sir, had an amiable low, and some such strange bull leapt your father's cow, and got calf in that same noble feat, much like to you, for you have just his bleat.
For this I owe you. Here comes other reckonings. Which is the lady I must seize upon?
This same is she, and I do give you her.
Why then, she's mine. Sweet, let me see your face.
No, that you shall not, till you take her hand before this friar and swear to marry her.
Give me your hand. Before this holy friar, I am your husband, if you like of me.
When I lived, I was your other wife. And when you loved me, you were my other husband.
Another hero.
Nothing certainer. One hero died defiled, but I do live. And surely as I live, I am a maid.
The former hero, that is dead.
I died, my lord, but while my slander lived.
All this amazement can I qualify. When after that the holy rites are ended, I'll tell you largely of fair hero's death. Meantime, let wonder seem familiar, and to the chapel let us presently.
Soft and fair, friar. Which is Beatrice?
I answer to that name. What is your will?
Do not you love me?
Why, no. No more than reason.
Why, then your aunt and the prince and Claudio have been deceived. They swore you did.
Do not you love me?
Troth, no more than reason.
Why then, my cousin, Margaret and Ursula are much deceived, for they did swear you did.
They swore that you were almost sick for me.
They swore you were nigh well dead for me.
'Tis no such matter. Then you do not love me.
No, truly, but in friendly recompense.
Come, dear niece, I am sure you love the gentleman.
And I'll be sworn upon it that he loves her. For here is a paper written in his hand, a halting sonnet of his own pure brain, fashioned to Beatrice.
Here's another written my cousin's hand, stolen from her pocket, containing her affection unto Benedick.
A miracle! Here's our own hands against our hearts. Come, I will have thee, but by this light I take thee for pity.
I would not deny you, but by this good day I yield upon great persuasion, and partly to save your life, for I was told you were in a consumption.
Peace, I will stop your mouth.
How dost thou, Benedick, the married man?
I'll tell thee what, prince, a college of witcrackers cannot flout me out of my humor. Dost thou think I care for a satire or an epigram? No. In brief, since I do purpose to marry, I will think nothing to any purpose that the world can say against it, and therefore never flouted me for what I have said against it. For man is a giddy thing, and this is my conclusion.
For thy part, Claudio, I did think to have beaten thee. But, in that thou art like to be my kinsman, live unbruised, and love my cousin.
I had well hoped Beatrice would have denied Benedick, that I might have cudgelled him out of his single life to make him a double dealer, which, out of question, thou wilt be if my cousin do not look exceedingly narrowly to thee.
Come, we are friends. Let's have a dance ere we are married.
We'll have dancing afterwards.
First, by her word.
Prince, thou art sad. Get thee a wife. Get thee a wife. There's no staff more reverend than one tipped with horn.
My lord, your brother John is taken in flight, and brought with armed men back here to Messina.
Think not on him till tomorrow. I'll devise fair punishments for him.
Strike up, players!